In this example, we're going to go through the process of creating an AdWords advertisement pointing to a landing page. Now we have a landing page already created that's being used as the landing page from an outbound marketing campaign. So we've got a bulk email headed out to a number of people who are on our distribution list, and when they click through from that bulk email, they arrive at this page. And this page already has within it the call to actions and information required to advance the inquirer to being a lead or a prospect for the product or services being promoted. So the objective of the exercise is to get people to click on a link, and the link will contain this link to this page. Moving back to AdWords, you can see that there are a number of warnings there because this is a trial AdWords account and it's been dormant for a while. AdWords is reminding us that we have to set up these particular things such as the credit card and the form of payment before we can start running the ad for real. But we're not going to do that just now. We'll pick the advertisements, we'll pick the campaigns on the left hand side. You can see there was one campaign group on the left hand side, Membership Australia New Zealand. And when we open that, we can see a number of prior AdWord advertising ads that we've put up over time. So now I'll just move to the lower half of this screen where I have the option to add a new group, an ad group. So I'll click on that button. And I'm then taken to a form to complete details. This is the section that you need to think through because the words chosen affect the successfulness of the campaign. First, I'll have to provide an ad group name. This name doesn't appear in the ad itself, but it's going to appear on the screen, and it's got to be a name that's familiar to me. Then I have to choose my headline, and by just adjusting the screen a little bit, I'll be able to see what the advertisement will look like real time. So it's used one of my prior ads as an example to remind me what to key in. So I'm just going to replace this with the words that I care to use. And as you can see at the bottom there, as the ad is as I'm entering the details, I'm getting a real-time view of what it's going to look like. So I'll just complete this. So I've put in my description, line 1 and line 2. Now, unlike messages that you place into a bulk email or put on a web page, this is an advertisement that's going to appear in the right-hand column or at the top of an ad, as an ad in a web page or potentially in a mobile device. So the providing of whole sentences isn't really necessary. What you need to do is provide words that will capture the interest of the person and generate a click-through for them to see more information. It's a bit like fishing. It's not like education. It's not like selling. So you need to choose your words carefully because those are the words you choose are going to be directly related to how successful the ad is. I then provide a visible URL, as you can see there, that appears down the bottom. And then the most important thing here is the link itself. You can see that AdWords has put in an example URL from probably one of the last advertisements. And at the end of the URL, I have some specific keywords. I've put in to the URL of this last advertisement the values after the page after the actual URL that I wanted to go to. I've got this section that says an ampersand sign and then source, and then it's some kind of a number, and then ampersand sign and KWD for keyword, and then another number. Now these values are tags. They're called tags, and they're going to be used by the search engine optimization software, the website tracking software, to categorize the traffic and identify traffic that's coming from this advertisement as opposed to traffic coming from other sources on the internet. So what I first need to do is I need to go back to this page which is my target for this particular campaign, and I need to take the URL. So I just Control C to copy, and I'm going to take it back into the AdWords campaign on this tab and paste it in, but paste it in before these keywords because I want to leave them there to help me remember what I need to do. So I'll just take out all the URL from there back, press the backspace, which means that now all I've got is ampersand source in there, and then press the Control V of the keyboard, which puts my URL from that second tab into the space before my tags. Remember, the tags are these things that are going to be used by my search engine optimization to measure the campaign. Now the next thing to do is to change the word. So I have a particular word, you'll have your own words, and that's probably the topic of another video. But I have my own words that I want to use as the tag. So I'm going to use Cloud01 as my source in my source campaign. In my case, I'm using the word Cloud01 as an identifier, like a tag for a campaign. It could be something in my database. It could be anything I care it to put in. And for my keyword, I'm going to use cloud software. Just that, and that's all I should need. Now my URL is complete. A good tip, if I can give you one, is to take the URL and Control C and paste it into Notepad, and then place it somewhere safe in your internal systems. I'll explain why. Alright, now I have created, just opened Notepad and pasted the URL that I've put into AdWords into this Notepad, and I'm going to store that inside the cloud software application, inside the campaign, as the URL that is being pointed to by this campaign. And as a practice, this is just a standard, if you like, I always do it immediately at the same time as I'm creating the ad, because unless you haven't noticed, when you're using AdWords, depending on the machine you're using, it's a bit slow, it's a bit clunky. And if there's any dispute about whether or not the AdWords are working or going to the correct page, or in fact you just want to go back and remember and recall the keywords that you used to link to any of the campaigns, then by having that detail back stored in your software back against the campaign, you can go and look there rather than having to open up this application, log in, navigate your way through to find the particular campaign, and then go into this field. And you can see it's not altogether fast because of the refreshing that Google has in their application. It's just a bit, I can get here, but it just takes time that I don't necessarily need to waste. The next thing I need to do for my campaign, now that I've finished my message that's going to appear on the site, on the Google search, when people put in specific keywords, is to nominate the keywords that I want to use. And from that, I'm going to start to derive an estimated cost for my campaign and for click-through traffic. So I need keywords because keywords are the thing that determines whether or not this ad turns up or some other ad appears on the right-hand column during when people are searching. So I'm going to pick free CRM online just by clicking the ad and a few other keywords.